Hi guys, it's Meg. Okay, we are live. Hello, hi everybody. It's Meg. I am back this week with a new tarot reading for you. If you guys are interested in seeing more, let's tuck in and grab a blanket and a comforting beverage, and yeah, let's see what messages come from the cards today. Before I do get into it, especially if you're watching from my YouTube, I have left links to my social media and my website if you guys are interested in getting in touch with me outside of YouTube. I am offering readings right now. The only way you can get to setting up those readings is if you go to my website. So follow the link, you'll be able to find it pretty easily. Yeah, you'll be able to follow it pretty easily if you guys are interested in getting a private reading done with me. Same goes for you on my Instagram. If you guys want that, there's a link in my bio. Yeah, that's the only way you're going to be able to get a private reading from me. And I wanted to mention that just because there's scammers all over the place these days. So please be careful and use your discretion about that. I just wanted to warn you. But also for those of you on my YouTube, if you guys want to see more from me, please go ahead and click the like, subscribe, and the bell buttons. That way you'll be able to stay in the loop for when I post new work. So we have a couple of old school decks. I decided to go back to that just because I miss some of the older decks. Actually, I say older decks. One of them is newer in my collection, but I have not used it in a while. So yeah, let's see how this goes. If you guys are new, if you guys have not seen me do a tarot reading before, what I like to do is I will take cards from the middle portion of the deck, so like this chunk of cards right here, and then I will take the bottom and the top card as like hidden and clarifying energies, and it'll depend on the message I'm getting as to whether I mean clarifying energies or you know, other cards to help me understand what's going on. So there's that. You'll see what I mean. It's easier to understand when you actually see me do it. So the first deck we are going to use is the Kawaii Tarot by Diana Lopez. It's a very cute deck, obviously. So let's see what we get from that. All right. So, one more shuffle here, guys. Hold on. Actually, you know what? We have the Ace. I believe this is the Ace of Wands coming right out. So, or at least it was flipped over in the deck. So there's an opportunity here, especially where it comes to pursuing passions and what's inspirational to us. This could be something that has come up suddenly for you. There's a new, getting a shift in perspective, although it's not necessarily, there's a shift in perspective that is inspiring you to do something differently. Okay, and that's that because it's the Ace, it's just starting. So, okay, let's start with that. Let's see where that goes. Okay, Ace of Wands. So we also have, okay, so we have the Four of Swords coming up too. Maybe there has been a shift. Maybe there's been a shift and it's caused you to feel some kind of way about some things. And I say that because inspiration, passion, there's certainly some fiery energy that is starting to come on. Take a break. Give yourself a chance to absorb the energy. Give yourself a chance to let it come in and settle. This is, this ace, because wands are associated with fire, and that's why I say it like that. This has a chance to get very hot very quickly, and if you're not careful with or around fire, you can get burned and it can get out of control very fast. So, take whatever this ace of swords energy, take it slow, take it easy. And if you need to, give yourself a break. Okay. So there is the Four of Swords. Okay. Okay, we also have the Two of Swords. So there's a decision that you are facing. And you're kind of hesitant and you don't know what's going on around it because you are missing information. You don't have all the pieces just yet. And you're not seeing it. Generally, the Two of Swords energy is going to have a character that's either holding swords aloft. Just imagine, I'm going to hold it in tighter. They're holding swords up or they're holding swords across themselves. And I usually take that to mean that they're either shielding themselves or they're open and receptive to whatever information is coming in, but they're not seeing that it's there because generally this character is going to be blindfolded, or they're not looking where they need to be looking to gain that information. This could be again, this could be anything. Anything that's making you feel worked up and heated. Okay. I think the opportunity to have this break, to have this chance to rest, is going to allow you to gain the information you need and see what you might be missing about that. Okay. So there is the Two of Swords. I'm going to shuffle again and get the hidden and clarifying energy, and then we will move on. Let's see what else comes up. Ooh, okay. I have not used this deck in a while, so it might be beyond a bit spicy. Okay. All right, so we have, for our hidden energy, okay, we have the Nine of Swords. There's some anxiety. There's some stress. Maybe you have lost sleep over this situation, and it's not ideal. That's not a fun experience. That's definitely happened to me on occasion. Yeah, I think the fact that you have this Nine of Swords is making this Four of Swords come into light all the more strongly, just because there's a lot on your heart and a lot on your mind, and that's okay. We're humans. We feel things. We feel them physically. We feel them emotionally. I'm getting the thought of stop emotionally flagellating yourself. Stop beating yourself up. Okay? You're not going to have all the answers right away. You're not going to have all the answers to this situation right away. And it's not going to do you any good. Perhaps it's going to be far more harmful in the long run to you if you keep going back to those things, if you keep beating yourself up over mistakes or what you don't know in your situation. Okay? Right now, yes, you are missing pieces, but you have the opportunity to pull back a little bit and rest. And that is, I think that is going to be what opens up the gates a little bit and lets the information you need come in. Okay. So there's the Nine of Swords as our hidden energy. Let's see. Okay, let's see. We have Six of Swords as our clarifying energy. Things are moving on. I think when you give yourself the chance to rest, recuperate, regroup, and gather what's missing, you're going to see the way through. You're going to see how this shift is allowing you to maybe physically shift your space, emotionally shift your perspective. And I say that because we have, especially in this first part, we have mostly swords with some wands. So basically air and fire. That's a lot. That's a lot. There's a lot of air keeping this fire going. Okay, remember what I said. If you're not careful around fire physically, it could get out of control and you could get burned. So give yourself a break. Just give yourself a break. Not only do you deserve it, but if you want this shift to happen, you can't force it. Okay? All right. So there's our first part. We're going to move on to another deck. What I'm going to do is get the clarifying energies for this first part, and to do that, I'm going to use the Spirit Song Tarot by Paulina Cassidy. I don't know if I mentioned it, but the Kawaii Tarot is by Diana Lopez. Also, I'm sidetracking this entire reading. I apologize. Definitely sidetracking it. Okay. I will have a write-up of the cards I pull for this reading. There'll be a link to that in the description. But also, I will have photos for my Instagram for those of you watching live there. And all of the decks I'm using will be listed in the description below as well. So yeah, look forward to that. Okay, so in order to clarify this first part of the reading, I'm going to take the hidden and clarifying energies, so bottom and top card of this deck, and we shall see how this goes. Give me a sec. I have to cheat a little bit because this deck isn't presented traditionally. So let's see what happens here. Okay, so to clarify our Ace of Wands, we have, okay, the Seven of Acorns. Acorns in this deck are, again, wands. So the Seven of Wands, there has been some conflict. There has been some things that have been put in front of you that have caused you maybe to doubt your own ability to move forward. And this is tough because this might be a person, this might be some people who aren't entirely thrilled about you moving on or moving away from what they expected of you. And that it's heavy expectations. I'm feeling like a lot of weight on your shoulders right now. A lot of pressure. And you're having to say, you know what, I can't deal with it anymore. I can't do this. I would be willing if there were a little more wiggle room, but there's not, right? So you're having to stand your ground, and that's a little, that's unsettling. That's not fun. especially if the people that you're having to defend yourself against are people you thought would have your back, which is painful. Excuse me. That's painful and that's sad, and I'm really sorry that you might be experiencing that right now. But yeah, there's some conflict that you're standing in defense against. That's it. It's interesting to me that I say that because, again, we have the Four of Swords, we have the Two of Swords, we especially have this Nine of Swords energy here. Let's see what other cards we get, because I have, at least for now, I have a sense of that there's this conflict, and hopefully it winds down. So let's see what other cards we get, because I can't confirm or deny that that might be the case. So yeah, Seven of Acorns, Seven of Wands. Let's move on there. There's our hidden energy. So our interestingly enough, we have the Ace of Acorns, or the Ace of Wands, coming out again. So there's some new energy coming in. There's some new passions, new things that you're exploring. In spite of the conflict, I feel like saying that this conflict situation is dying down to make space for new passions and new energy to come in. Interesting that we get the Ace of Wands again, or in this case, the Ace of Acorns. Let's see how well. Let's see some other cards. So, to clarify our Four of Swords, we are going to. I'm going to shuffle again. I'm going to shuffle this a couple of times to keep it going here. So we have. Okay. We have the Moon as our hidden energy. So we're not, there's definitely some creativity, some things that we're exploring, but this, I feel like this explains the Two and the Nine of Swords, Two of Swords and the Nine of Swords here, because we're not seeing the way through the dark just yet. We know the path is there. We know that we need to follow it because we're feeling very passionate about moving forward on these things. However, the conflict, part of the conflict that we might be having is that we're not seeing how to move forward because it's dark. We're not clear on what we're going forward. Again, remember that we have the Two of Swords out, okay? It's not an easy fix. It's not an easy fix. There's no easy answer to this situation. In fact, there probably isn't an answer to that situation yet because we're not seeing where we need to go just yet. Anyway, there's the Moon. There's the Moon energy. That's our hidden energy for the Four of Swords. Because the Four of Swords says, hey, take a break, give yourself a break. It could be that you need to sleep on some ideas or some things that you have on your space, in your space right now. Again, there's no answers. There's not an answer just yet. We're not clear just yet. And it might be time, going back to what I said in the first part, it might be time to take a break so that we can collect what we're missing. Okay? So there is the Moon. Okay, that's our hidden energy. Clarifying energy is the Six of Crystals. In this case, crystals are the coin energy. So Six of Coins. Oh, crud. Six of Coins. Four coins come in. Six of Coins. There's, okay. So perhaps the perhaps the issue is that we have not opened ourselves up to, we haven't opened ourselves up to the possibility of there being a cycle of reciprocity in our space. And what I mean by that is that we've given a lot of time, a lot of energy. We've had a lot of we've had a lot on our plate that we've had to give attention to, and now that we're being called to take a break and give ourselves a rest, we're like, so, you know, it comes, everything we thought we needed to do just come to a thudding halt, right? And it's not. We don't know what to do with ourselves just yet, and that's a little unsettling. If you're used to being a busybody all the time, perhaps taking a break might feel uncomfortable for you. But given the situation that we're currently looking at right now, the opportunity is there for you to do some of this receiving work. You're on the receiving end because you've been giving so much of yourself. You've done so much for everything else, and now this situation is asking you to learn, if not learn how to accept this cycle of reciprocity is what I'm saying. You've given, now it's your turn to receive. Okay? So yeah, there's the Six of Crystals, or in this case, the Six of Coins, Six of Pentacles. Okay. So, do this here. We're going to get into the Two of Swords energy. So let's see what happens there. So our hidden energy for the Two of Swords is the Awakening. One, I think this might be Judgment in the Major Arcana. I will fact check and correct myself. Yeah, I will fact check and correct myself if I am wrong about this. I believe it is, at least in this deck, this is Judgment. So there is, something's calling you home, or, you know, whatever home looks like to you. Something is calling you out of a place of, a place of darkness, and you're leaving that to go to a place of light. Maybe that is a place of healing, whether that's emotionally, perhaps it's physically, and you'll know what that looks like for you, especially if you're resonating with this. But you're being called away from maybe the familiar, and that could also be causing the conflict that we talked about with the Seven of Wands. It's coming up with the Ace of Wands energy. Yeah, so this Two of Swords energy is asking you to open your eyes, because the light is going to come in, and the light is going to help. Yeah, the light's going to help you see what you're missing. Okay. So, okay. So yeah, and interesting that we're talking about an awakening here, because remember what I talked about, the character that's typically seen with these two swords isn't seeing or isn't looking. Now, especially if you're resonating with this Two of Swords energy, you're starting to see that, you're starting to see what you're missing. You're starting to see what you're missing. Okay, so there it is. That is awakening. Okay, that's our hidden energy. For clarifying energy is the World. So my gut says I'm right about awakening being Judgment. We're completing a cycle. The energy is moving out so we can make space for new things to come in. Okay? And what's nice is that we're seeing it happen. We're finally seeing the results of what we want to have happen. You know, it might not be happening as we expect it to, and that's probably, it might be discomforting, but it could probably end up better than we ever expected to. Okay? We're seeing results. And even if the results aren't what we want, they're the results that we need. Okay? So, there is the world. So an old chapter ends ending and a new chapter is beginning. Okay? So, there's the world. Okay? For our Nine of Swords energy, we are going to, we're going to finish it out. Sure, of course. We have the Page of Shells. So this is the page, I believe this is the Page of Cups. Give me a second here. Yes, shells are cups in this deck. So the Page of Shells is, hold out the right way, first of all. Page of Shells, Page of Cups. So we're taking lessons learned and putting them to understanding our emotions, putting them to understand how we've grown spiritually. There's been a lot of that, especially in this first reading, because there's, okay, let me give you a personal experience, and hopefully this will allow the message to come through here. Whenever I have had a lot of like internalizing of new things in my space, sometimes I won't sleep. And that's not good. I know that's not good for a lot of reasons. But there's, you know, I have a lot of water energy in my birth chart, so a lot of emotions. I feel a lot all the time. And especially when things have gotten tough. There've been occasions where I've lost a lot of nights of sleep. And, you know, it used to happen a lot when I was still in school. For good or bad, there was some stress and anxieties, and change does not agree with me. I don't like change, but it happens, okay? And, you know, if you're resonating with this Nine of Swords energy, it's likely that you've gone through a lot of change and recently, but also fast, okay? So you've had the opportunity to learn what triggers you, learn how to process those triggers, and put them in a context that you know and understand will help you put that through. You're going to get through this situation because you know yourself a lot better now than you did when this reading, or the energy of this reading, first came to you. Okay, I hope I'm making sense. But you're taking lessons learned and you're now in the application phase of that. So there is the Page of Shells. Okay. We also have the Seven of Feathers. And I believe in this case, the feathers are for swords. So, Seven of Swords, there's some deception, some manipulation, and maybe this has been from other people in your space, which kind of makes sense because we have the Seven of Wands out as well. This could mean that, you know, you're more aware of the things that have gone on in your space and the things that have caused you to feel pain and discomfort. Okay. So, in spite of all of this stressful energy, you've learned how to take these. You've learned how to take these emotions, use them, and transmute them to the best that you can. And now your eyes are open. Okay? So there is the Seven of Feathers, or the Seven of Swords. Okay? So to clarify, our Six of Swords, our transition, okay, we have the Three of Shells. Oh, okay, just knocked a bunch of cards off. I will be getting those in a minute. We have the Three of Shells coming out, or the Three of Cups. So there's a chance when this energy moves on, I feel that there is a chance to really play and let loose and have some fun. You know that the people in your space, the people that you've brought into your space, are the people that are meant to be there, that, you know, love you without condition. They don't need a reason. They don't need a reason to you just sit and laugh. And I'm blessed to have friends and family that do this with me. You know, you could be in your company, in each other's company, not even talking, just enjoying the time together, and you still end up having fun because that energy, this communal, loving, celebratory energy, is exactly what you need, and it's exactly what you need, and it's the reward for letting this transition happen. Okay? So there's the Six of Swords. We got the Three of Cups. Okay? We also have the Ace of Feathers. Guys, I think this is the third time. This is the third time we have the Ace of Swords coming out in this reading. Okay? There is some really interesting, inspirational, fiery, passionate energy that is coming out in this reading. And I think for some of you, it's a, yeah, there's a cycle of feeling passionate, feeling fiery, that fiery energy causing a little bit of conflict, maybe internally or externally, and then, you know, it transitions and it's back to feeling good again. Think about that. If you guys want to leave comments, especially you guys on my Instagram, please let me know what you guys think about that, because I'm finding that really interesting. Again, number 3 for this Ace of Swords energy. In this case, it's written as Ace of Feathers. Interesting. Okay? So, we've gotten the situation. I'm going to go get the cards that fell out of the deck, and I will be right back. Interesting. Okay, so we're going to move on to another deck, just to finish out the reading. I'm kind of excited because we have one of my favorite decks coming out in a few minutes, so stay tuned. Okay, so we're going to get into the we're going to get into the Tarot Pack by Mystic Meg. No, it's not my deck. Maybe that might be a goal of mine. We shall see how that goes. But we're going to get, I'm not risking, I'm going to shuffle this differently. But we're going to get a reading on kind of what you're potentially feeling in this situation, how we can use the energy, how we can learn to use the energy we're feeling here. Because this Ace of Swords energy is apparently very strong in this reading. So, how do we use this Ace of Swords energy? Ooh. One more. So in order to best use this Ace of Swords energy, we need to understand what's keeping us back, what's holding us back. This is written as temptation, but in the standard Rider-Waite, this is the Devil card. And in this case, what potentially could be blocking this Ace of Swords energy is the fact that we might be afraid of what that creative spark might look like, how it's going to move forward. We need to understand, I'm getting the phrase, we're addicted to stress. We're addicted to the nerves and the anxiety. Maybe we don't entirely know who we are if we're not stressing or anxious. Interesting that I say this because, this is holding us back. So why would we stay there? Why do we want to stay there? It's damaging. Constant stress can actually be really physically damaging for a human body. So, Let's see what else comes up. I'm finding that interesting because we want to move forward, but we're also held back. So yeah, okay. So there is temptation or the devil. We also have the Air Princess. So this is the, I'm going to read this as the Knight of Swords. Once again, this deck isn't written traditionally, it wasn't written traditionally, and neither was the Spirit Song Tarot, so may have to do some thinking. Anyway, the Air Princess or the Knight of Swords is asking us to take action on removing this blockage. I'm going to advise that we take this slow. Again, remember we have the Two of Swords, we're missing information. We also have the Four of Swords, and that's asking us to take a break. So go slow. Please go slow. I'm saying that because the Knight of Swords tends to have a lot of swift moving energy. Their thoughts are going a mile a minute, and sometimes that can think them right into a pit. So please be careful. Please do some reflecting, but know when your tendency to overthink things might be triggered. Okay? So there is the Air Princess or the Knight of Swords. Okay, we also have the beginning. Again, interesting, this is the Fool, the traditional writer. So we're starting over, and I think that's very apropos because we have the Six of Swords, we have a lot of transitioning energy. Again, remember what I said, take it slow. Because even though you're enthusiastic and raring to go, you might have to rebalance that energy. Okay, even though this is stresses, anxieties, worries, being at the end of a leash and not being able to go any further, you could be thinking about how do I get out of this situation, and you're overthinking it to the point that you're going to walk yourself right into a dangerous situation or right into a cycle of anxiety and intrusive thoughts. which isn't going to help you if you want to actually make that transition happen. Okay. So yeah, be careful. Also remember that even if you are in that cycle of anxiety and stress and all of this, there's still a support system behind you, because look at this character. They have, I'm going to read that as a dog, but I'm not sure if that is the case. There's a support system with you, and you're not, again, I'm going to beat this into a pulp. You're not doing this alone. You're going to be supported, whether that's someone physically with you or whoever your spirit team sends to you. You are supported and you are loved, and there is help if your thoughts are getting away from you. Okay, so there's the Fool. There's the beginning. Okay, we cut here. Okay, we have the Ace of Water in reverse, the Ace of Cups. So all of this situation, again, has got you feeling some kind of way, and you've done the most. You've done a lot. In fact, you've done probably more than you should have. Your cup is now emptied out. It's spilled. Your emotions have gotten away from you so fast that now it's depleted. Okay. Perhaps it's time to, again, take the advice of the Four of Swords and give yourself a break so that you can right your cup again and let it fill back up. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't give on an empty you can't give if you're running on fumes. Okay? And you just can't. Your cup is not right. It's toppled over. And yeah, it takes some time for you to rest and replenish so that you can fill your cup back. You can fill your cup up again. Okay? I think the better way of saying that would be to take care of yourself. Okay? So yeah, there's the Ace of Cups in reverse as our hidden energy. And our clarifying energy is the Knight of Cups. You're an emotional person. You're a deeply emotional person, and you feel things right from here, right here. You lead, your heart's right here, okay? You're wearing your heart in your sleeve, and it's like, here you go, let me just give everything I got to this situation. That isn't a bad thing if you can balance taking care of yourself with taking care of others. And that's where I see this Ace of Cups, or the Ace of Water in reverse coming in, because you've done so much. You've accepted so much responsibility and so much burden on your shoulders, because that's just you. You can't help but do that for other people. It's like, oh, you're in pain. Let me give you, a chance to tell me about this. Oh, you're stressing. Let me give you a chance to put it on my shoulders. I'll carry it for you. Okay, you've done that so much, and that's the conflict I think people are expecting. That's the conflict I'm seeing here, is that people expect that of you. And now you're at the point where you're just like, nah, I can't do it. Give me a chance here. Well, I need this from you. Okay, give me a chance. I need this from you. Okay, give me a chance. I gotta rest here. I feel like that's the conflict, and that's the transition that you need to let happen, is that, yes, People expect that of you. That's a good trait to have, that you want to help, but you can't. Again, you cannot pour from an empty cup. Okay? And if this is resonating with you, if this means something to you, it might be time to set a boundary with people. Okay? Whether that causes conflict or not remains to be seen, but that is setting a boundary so you can rest and replenish doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you a bad person. It means that you need a chance to come back to your level of normal. You know, maybe that level has changed, and that's a good thing. But you're kind and you're good, and that is what we need these days. I feel like saying that is absolutely what we need these days. But you got to be kind to yourself too. Okay? So there is the Water Princess, or the Knight of Cups. And that was our clarifying energy for this portion of the reading. Yeah, we're going to move on and close out this reading. So there's a lot here to unpack, and I hope that this is resonating with you. If you do like what you see, you know what buttons to push. Yeah, you know what buttons to push. I will definitely see you guys next time, because I've had a lot of fun reading this. But yeah, let's get some closing energies and see how we can progress this energy forward. Okay, in order to do that, I'm going to be using the Beautiful Creatures Tarot. Beautiful Creatures Tarot by J.R. Rivera and Jasmine Beckett Griffith. Again, I have not used this deck in so long. I am so happy to have this back in my hands right now. So let's see how it goes. Okay. So the final message for this reading is going to start off with the Sun. You know, when we do the work, we're finally going to get clear about what we need to do and how we need to do it. Okay? Let's just take a deep breath, because once again, there's a lot of energy here. And, yeah, there's a lot of energy. We're finally at a point now, especially in this journey, where we have had to really get clear about boundaries, about what we stand for, about giving ourselves the chance to take care of ourselves as well as others. It's not a bad thing to put yourself first, especially if you're depleted or you're feeling low. Yeah, we're clear, and we've taken the chance to grow and to change. Okay, so yeah, so there's the Sun as our there's our Sun. We're closing this out now. So there's the Sun. Okay, we also have the Five of Cups. So even if the situation ends in some disappointment, there's still an opportunity to move on. We may lose some things that we may have thought were precious to us. We may have some things that we're not, we might not be firing on all cylinders because some of these cylinders have broken, but that doesn't mean that we still can't move forward. Okay? We are clear. We know, we see the path. We know how to move this forward. Okay? We still have a chance to move forward too. Because even if we still feel this lingering darkness or this lingering pressure of our situation, okay, we can still go. And in fact, you know, I'm going to read these as, yes, it's a dark motif, but these are, I think these are birds. You know, there's still messages coming in. There's still lessons to learn, in spite of toppling some of our cups, in spite of not having what we had when we started. We've lost those things for our own good, for our own benefit. We can still pick up and go. It's just a matter of seeing what we have at our disposal and getting resourceful. Okay? So there's the Five of Cups. All right? You also have the Judgment. Okay? So once again, we're coming out of that place of darkness into one of light. We are, yeah, we're coming home. We're going to find our peace again. We're going to find our center. And yeah, we're going to find our center again. Okay, so there's the Judgment. Cool. Okay. Let me do a quick shuffle and we'll close this out. And I will definitely see you guys again next week. So, we have the Two of Cups as our hidden energy. So after all of this, after all of the stress and the pain and the worry and the needing to take a step back, we finally have the opportunity to blend and harmonize new energy. And we finally have a way of saying, okay, there's a new energy here. Let me download it. Let me absorb it. Let me take it in so I know that I have a new way of moving forward. Okay? Especially if you're starting a new relationship, this could mean that you are letting someone in, but for purposes, letting someone in or there's a spark of new love that's happening, you know, maybe that resonates with you. I'm just reading the card here, guys, but how I see it fitting in with the larger context is that there is a lot of really good new energy that's coming into your space that's allowing you to move forward in spite of all of what you've been through so far. So that is the Two of Cups. Okay, is your hidden energy. Let's see our clarifying energy. We have the Nine of Pentacles, and it says it right here. You're reaping rewards. You're now in a place that you can take a step back and absorb what you learned, absorb how much you've gone through, and you can finally be at a sense of peace. Okay? So yeah, sense of peace. Excellent way to close that off, guys. Thank you for putting up with my shenanigans. We will definitely be back. We will definitely be back again next week because I've certainly had fun doing this reading for you. Go ahead and look out for the card breakdown that will be in the description below if you're watching on my YouTube. Go ahead and get in touch with me however you can if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. And I will definitely see you guys next week. Love you lots, guys. Stay safe.